Come on in.
Good evening.
Hello, everybody. It is Begin Again, second time around.
And we are outside,
That's right.
fanning away the gnats.
Second time around, beginning again, on location tonight. Want to make sure you tune in, tag a friend, get as many people in as you can as you see this. Share it. It turned me down. I'm just sharing and make sure we get as many folk in as we can. As soon as you see this, send it to a few people. Need you to share this. Come right on in. Yeah, they out here tonight, ain't they?
Yeah, let's do this quick.
Yeah, you want to get this? You done turned the volume down on the music though.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, you done turned that way down. Yeah, let's see if I can share it with one more group.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not that technical savvy kind of person.
She's gonna be all right though. She's gonna be all right.
I'm gonna get there. I'm learning every day. We grow every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on. Let's get as many people in there as we can. Yeah. Jump right on in there. God bless you, Sister Sheila. Share this real quickly. On location here at the Johnson Estates. That's the way I would say it. Back from summer vacation. Kids have gone back to school tonight, second time around, affectionately known as Beginning Again. I've got my little rag because we just wiping away all of the gnats and the mosquitoes that's after us tonight. But they're going to be all right. We ain't going to knock the camera down. We ain't going to knock the camera down. God bless you. God bless you. Share this real quickly. Come on, let's jump right on in this tonight. Tonight, second time around, or actually Begin Again. I'm your host, Dr. Ray Johnson.
Yes, you can begin again.
That's right, with my lovely bride. What's your name, girl? What's your name?
My name is Alitash, Kebebe, killing these gnats Johnson.
Killing these gnats Johnson. I'm trying to pause it. Yeah, killing these gnats Johnson. All right. So, we've taken some time away. And over the summer months, we're glad to be back with you all tonight. Want as many of you all to jump in as you can. But tonight, second time around, we want to talk about a new topic tonight. And so we've been doing these pop-ups. We're here at the Johnson Estate, as I said again. And tonight, it's really all about family. And when we talk about family, we talk about mending and blending.
Yes.
And because we're saying mending and blending, because we're in the process, we haven't already arrived quite yet. Tonight, our shirts say Eternal Crown.
Yes.
And we believe that you can have an eternal relationship with each other as you're connected to the eternal Father. And the word eternal doesn't mean what you think it means. It talks about the quality of life and not necessarily the everlasting. So we want the quality of your Beginning Again relationship to last well. And tonight we've got 10 keys. I've got 5. She's got 5. And so we took our very first family vacation together.
We did.
Mending and blending. You're 3 and then my baby 2. And so we had children ranging from age 11 all the way to 18.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Or is she 19?
19. Well, she'll be turning 19 in October.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we learned a few things and gathered a few things. So we want to share a little bit of wisdom with you tonight. 10 things that you need if you're going to be able to mend and blend inside of your dynamic as you come together again to begin again. So that being the case, let's jump right on into this. I'm going to go first. My number 1,
Okay.
you've got to have an awareness. And what I mean by awareness is you've got to be self-aware before you engage in a next time around, second time around, begin again relationship.
That's good.
Because you got to know yourself.
You do.
As you are interrelating with new people. And so you've got to be self-aware of who you are, of how you do things, of how you like things. God bless you, Mother. And you've got to really be conscious of yourself. And so my very first one,
because that's mine.
I'm not going to use C's. I got A's tonight. You got C's. So you have to be, let me just say, you have to be self-aware enough that you are conscious enough to be able to understand how you operate versus how others operate when you're coming together in a mended and blended family dynamic. Go ahead. What's your number 1?
Mine was actually conscious or conscientiousness.
Wow.
Because you really do need to be conscious of what you say out of your mouth. Conscious. Sometimes we don't always know what the children are experiencing or what they're feeling or what even the history is. But we have to have a conscious, like you said, awareness, but a conscientiousness not to speak negative things concerning their past, not to speak negative things concerning their parents, but to be very conscientious in your communication. You know, a wise soul wins, you know, wise person wins souls.
He
That's
that
the mind.
Souls is wise, right?
Yeah, he that. Thank you. He that winneth souls is wise.
Right.
But a lot of times you got to start with the emotional aspect and be considerate. Because when you don't have their mind, when you offend and you come off offending, you know, the Bible tells us that a person offended is harder to win than a defense city. So if you are not consciously aware of what you're saying out of your mouth and you start spewing out things and saying things you think that you know about what happened in their history, you can bring offense. And it's harder to win a person when you've offended them. You don't want to do that.
That's so important because you're coming together and you're looking to mend and blend, and the family dynamic calls for you to be aware and to be conscious. Here's going to be my number 2 for tonight. As you are aware and as you are conscious, here it is. You've got to be sure to check your attitude.
Amen.
When you go, particularly, the family vacation for us was what it's going to be like when we're in the house together with each other. When my baby 2 come over here, we're here at the Johnson Estates on location on tonight for tonight's episode. But when they are here, you got to be conscious of how you're going to dwell together with each other. And so that checking your own attitude is important. It is critically important, because particularly for us as men, because people can pick up the vibe of how things are going. And when you're mending and blending and you're putting together, you know, we put together a schedule of what days we were going to go to which parks and at what times.
Very good at that.
We did all of that in terms of what time we're going to eat and where we're going to go. And so checking your own attitude, learning how to be able to flow well in the dynamic, that's critically important. So particularly for men, you got to be able to watch yourself, because like I said, we're working with children from ages 11 to 18, 19, and then when you add my other 2, 25, my big girl got a birthday in 2 days, and so that's right, should be 25. Raina J, shout out to you. And so making sure you understand that. What's your number 2?
All right, my number 2 is actually consistent.
Look at that right there.
Being consistent in what you do.
Yeah.
Even if you don't even know what you're doing when you're mending and blending, as far as what is the other, what do they like, or and just not just the children, but between each other, being consistent with each other. Ray is the bishop, pastor, doctor.
All of that. Okay.
Is very consistent in his communication. I am the first one to shut down and stop talking. He will push and push until we come back into a communication type realm where there's an atmosphere setting, where there's actually communication going on between the two of us. You would think that communication is one of mine. I don't think it is. It's not actually. But being consistent, in what we do. If we say that we're going to pray, then we're going to pray. If we say we're going to do this together, then we're going to do it. But being consistent, because when you start falling off that consistency, then the level of trust is also affected. When you're not consistent with something that you started your relationship with, that trust level, the bricks start coming out of that trust level. So you got to be consistent. Be consistent in complimenting. Be consistent in dating. Be consistent in appreciating the other person, appreciating your spouse, and appreciating the children.
Well, see, we're talking about Mending and Blending tonight. Being consistent with them is also critically important. So when you set schedules and you set dates and you set timelines, make sure that you fulfill those, because now you're setting structure and you're actually communicating to them about how they're going to function and operate as adults. So I think that's critically important. If you haven't shared this yet, we need you to share this. Tonight, beginning again, we're talking about mending and blending in a next time around relationship. And we say, as we say affectionately all the time, it's always necessary for new beginnings and sometimes necessary endings, but then new beginnings. And so tonight we're talking about mending and blending. We're on location.
Necessary endings and new
beginnings. So we're on location tonight here at the Johnson Estates out here in the backyard. And so we figured we would stream tonight. Since the last couple of ones, we've done it while we have actually been out on location around in the city. Coming back from family vacation, we learned a few things about what it takes to be able to mend and to blend. So I'm going to go ahead with my number 3.
Okay.
My number 3, of course, you know, I like this word. We've been throwing it around a lot in our dynamic as we've been kind of engaged with each other.
I'm curious. Because I haven't seen his.
She hadn't seen mine. I haven't seen hers, but we've been in sync so far. So here's my third one. Y'all watch her face. Watch her face. Watch her face. Watch her face. adjustments. You've got to be able. You've got to be able to make adjustments, because in a mended and blended situation, how children are raised in different dynamics vary. And so when you're coming together, you have a way of doing things, and your spouse has a way of doing things, and then the children are used to one thing, and then the other set of kids are used to something else. And so everybody's got to become flexible enough to make the necessary adjustments so that they can have, watch this, good alignment.
Right.
So that they can fulfill their assignments.
Amen.
My God, that's
good
good right there.
That's good. That's good.
Come on, number 3 for you. Go on, let me have
because
that.
we're adaptable, so we adjust anyway. Okay, women, we are adaptable. My number 3 was being committed.
That's good.
You always have to be committed. If you said you're gonna do it, do it. If you said you're gonna be there, show up. If you said, no, that's not something I like, then hey, if you've committed to that and you said this is not something we're going to have in our marriage, then you stick with it. The commitment should be something that the two of you have agreed on. If you make it a commitment with the children, keep that commitment. If you say, hey, I'm going to do this for you, do it. Because the moment that you don't, again, we're trying to build trust. We're trying to build a healthy atmosphere for both the children and our spouses, but you got to be committed, because when you're not committed, when you let yourself down, you start to feel bad about yourself. When you let your relationship down, you start to feel bad about your relationship. When you don't keep your word in things, it affects your mind. And you start to say, oh man, I suck. Man, I'm not this. And it's not the truth, but we start saying these things when we don't keep our commitments. And the first person you've got to keep your commitment to is yourself. Whether if you say, I'm going to get up and I'm going to pray and I'm going to honor God, I understand spiritually, yes, our first commitment is to God. But once you say something out of your mouth, I'm going to do this, then do it. And I failed a lot when it comes to like dieting or exercise. Those are my weak areas, okay? I'm like, dang, I just can't get it together.
I got you.
But every time you fail in it, you build another brick that says, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can really lose the weight, or I don't think I can really get up and walk the way I want to walk, because you failed so many times before. But we have a redeeming God.
Yes, we do.
So you get up and you try it again. But commit yourself to it.
Commit yourself to it. That's the C. I'm coming with, here's my 4th A right here. My 4th A is, you've got to be aware of animosity. And you've got to watch for that. In a mended and blended dynamic, you've got to watch for animosity. And here's what I mean by that. We took that first family vacation. We went on and we were there. We were in the park. And so my children are used to being in those settings with me all the time. And so an adjustment on their part was, if you will, sharing my time with your children and making sure that we pulled them in and brought them in to participate in some of the functions and things that we were doing. And what I loved, I just got to give her a shout out. This is my 3rd girl. She led us the whole way. That would be.
What? I was gonna bring her in here.
You was gonna bring her in. Go ahead. Let me bring her first, and then you bring her next. And we hadn't talked about this, y'all. So this shows you about the syncopation. I said to her, listen, what I want you to do is set the schedule, determine where we're gonna go, and make sure that the Leonard children are rolling in with us and that we're good to go. And boy, I'm telling you, Imani Johnson led the show, and she made sure everybody felt comfortable helping out with everything. I won't list all the stuff she done, because I think you're gonna bring her into this. So what that did was, she ensured that the animosity was very low or non-existent at all, so that everybody felt comfortable, and that's necessary in mending and blending. And so you've got to watch for that, and you as a parent got to watch that. The things that you may do with your children may not be the things that your spouse does with their children. So we're talking about being able to come together and to form a cohesive unit. That's critically important. Y'all forgive the atmosphere in the background, because we're shooting on location, and that's somebody that's just rolling up and down the street and so racing. So I'm just making the adjustment for that right there. But you got to watch for the animosity. Go ahead. You get the next one on number 4. What's your number 4? I'm going to pull
in creative. It was actually about number 5, but since you mentioned it, and I was going to talk about Imani Johnson. She is gifted in this area of being creative.
Yes, she is.
And so even with it, we had tie-dye t-shirts. She got the schedule together for us, but she was very creative. sometimes, you know, as we grow older, we lose some of our creativity genes or something. I don't know what happens. But she was very creative in creating moments and spaces where we could do things together. The tie-dye was just a beautiful
idea.
All her. And then all of us wore the T-shirts the next day.
The next day, yep.
But she took ownership of that. And she is very gifted in that area. Not everybody is gifted like that, but Imani is definitely gifted in that area of being able. She's a peacemaker, and very creative, very outgoing, very much so a leader. But that was my seed.
That was your seed.
That was my seed.
All right, here's my last one, number 5. If you haven't shared this, we need you to share it real quickly. It is Begin Again in Next Time Around Relationships. Tonight's concept and theme is Mended and Blended. How do you mend together in new family dynamics? Or I should say, how do you bring about healing for mending so that you can blend together in new family dynamics when you're coming together in these next time around relationships? Here is my number 5. My number 5, Dad, I'm talking directly to you. You've got to be the one that set the tone by checking, here it is, my A, the atmosphere. You, Dad, set the atmosphere. I always do Dad and Kid Wars. You know, when we went on the vacation, we spent some time together, all together in close quarters, but it was pretty spread out though, wasn't it? Everybody had their own room, all that. So their own space and everything. But something I always do is playing with the kids, and so I'll do pillow fighting or water fights or balloon fights or all that kind of stuff, lightening up the atmosphere. So I'll never forget the moment. This is the first time this ever happened to me. I don't even know how. I don't know if it was your children or my children or our children. I don't know who came up with the idea, but we were starting to take each other's luggage and hide it in different places. You think I started it? But they sure enough finished it, because what they ended up with is putting me in a chair, y'all, with some saran wrap and wrapping me around in the chair. And so dads, even though you might be the biggest and the toughest and the strongest and all that, you set the atmosphere by making sure that you're cracking jokes and being playful and creating a memory moment with young people, so that now the mending and blending can begin to continue happening organically. And so, of course, I let them roll with it for a little bit, hit me in the head with the pillow for a little bit, all that kind of stuff. And then eventually I had to pull out the Incredible Hulk moment and try to use these 50-year-old shoulders that won't really, you know, the Lord was with me, let me just say that, to come out the saran wrap. So that's the last one for me, being able to set the atmosphere for fun in an environment so that that mending and blending can happen naturally. Go ahead. You got number 5, lady, with the last one.
All right, so I'm going to bring it home with this one.
Bring it home.
Stay connected.
That's so good.
Stay connected.
My goodness.
Because we can go through life circumstances and situations. We can have arguments with each other, and we can want to just derail in that moment. Remember the acid test? We can want to derail in a heartbeat. We'll even think about, why did I do this? What am I doing here? I'm getting out of this. But don't give life to it by speaking that out of your mouth.
That's so good.
Don't give life to divisive communication. Don't give life to it. You start speaking life into your marriage. You start speaking life into your relationships. And you've got to know, we went through something just last week. I can't stay mad because I got to have my relationship with God right. I want God to hear me when I pray. I don't want to be so mad at somebody or unforgiving or just have to prove my point that I can't come down from my high horse and communicate with my spouse, because you create problems like that, and you'll end up in another divorce situation. And divorce is a painful situation.
Don't wish it on nobody.
And it's not something that we promote. It's not something that we encourage. There are times where it's necessary to have an ending. If you're in an abusive situation, if you're in a situation where the two of you cannot come together and be as one, that's something. But divorce in and of itself, God hates it.
He hates it.
He hates divorce. So we're not advocates for divorce.
Not at all.
But we also understand that God has the grace to give us the wherewithal and what we need to start again and to do it again. As I was thinking, God even had to do it again when he created Adam, and Adam and Eve failed. But when he had to bring the second Adam on the scene, Jesus Christ, God had to do it again. And he had to change the way he came to the earth. He couldn't just come from the dirt and start all over again. He had to go through the womb of a woman, because that's what he created. That's the parameters for which he put himself. But he had to do it again. So God does give us the grace to do it again. He gives us what we need to do it again. But stay connected when you do. Amen.
Amen.
Stay connected. That's all I've got, Pastor.
Listen, tonight you need to share this. Get it to as many people as you can. this is the opportunity that we're trying to give you some equipping and some skills that will help you mend and blend.
Amen.
So that your relationship and new family dynamic can work well for you. Stay tuned. The next time we gather again will be toward the end of the month. You got to check with us and see what location we're going to be on then. Make sure that you communicate with somebody, share it with somebody, get it to them. God bless you. Y'all take care. We'll see you
Have a
again
great
soon.
night. Great
Bye-bye
night.
now.